Today, I pay off the All-Star Game Showdown bet with Laffy, where I will take the Pocky One Chip Challenge on the stream. We'll do that at the end of the show so that we could actually do that. But now, I assume we are now live on YouTube, but let me double check it since yesterday was weird, and we are. Welcome to the NBA Strategy Show, presented by Super Draft. Yeah, it's backwards on the screen, but that's fine.
Well, I can't do it not backwards.
I know, only I can do that not backwards.
This will be another one because I'm a friend, and while I'm not doing it today, I will do something where this is on the line for me and something else is on the line for you, something less extreme.
Sure.
It's going to be wild though, man. I stopped watching the YouTube videos just in fear of what may happen. I kept going.
I only watched Shaq and Joel Embiid, and then I was just like, I'm good here. I don't.
Oh, did they do it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, if they did it, all right. So, a professional, he did the One Chip Challenge, or he did Hot Ones.
Because I know Shaq's done both. Actually, Joel Embiid might have done them both now too.
I know Embiid did Hot Ones.
Yeah, then they've both done both. I watched them both do the One Chip Challenge.
Okay.
Nevertheless, Shaq did it on their NBA show, and then Embiid did it like just sitting at a table.
Okay. See, that would honestly make me feel way more confident knowing that like Embiid was given the go ahead to do something like that. You know what I mean?
Embiid, he's got some international flavor. He's probably had some hot stuff before.
What, you think the Cameroonians can handle heat better?
I'm perfectly honest with you. I have no idea.
Neither do I. That's kind of my point. I guess we'll find out.
Yes, we will. So we've got a 9-gamer ahead of us. We're going to go through this like normal. And then when we are done breaking down all 9 games, I'm going to break down my insides. It's going to be rough, guys. It's going to be rough. I'm excited to go on this journey with you.
You cannot be happy with Luka Doncic. Not even play. Like, who would have thought this guy, no joke. This guy, if you remember, through say November, maybe midway through December, him and Giannis were both like favorites to the field to win an MVP.
Yeah. At the very least, I expected Luka to be closing for the team, not skipping the fourth quarter in its entirety.
Correct.
That's why he was my captain. Would have been really close if he did play, because you also had Luka, so I would have only been making up points.
Correct. And I had
based on the bonus.
I had Giannis at captain, who didn't score a single point in the fourth quarter. He just completely unraveled, which was really a bizarre sight to behold. In what was a really good All-Star game where they were legitimately D'ing up, taking charges, you name it. Weird stuff.
Yeah, weird stuff. It wasn't fun to wake up to that, that's for sure.
I can't imagine. And especially since I had tweeted all that stuff, so you're waking up to a ton of tweet replies.
I certainly did.
That was my intent.
Yeah, it wasn't great for me at all. I drank my way out of it. That's fine.
At least you were in New Orleans.
Absolutely.
New Orleans.
Absolutely. No complaints there. I've got last night's $150K to first $8 entry fee from DraftKings pulled up right now. Shout out to the check for taking down $150K. Shout out to E. Hafner for taking it down on FanDuel. I would have preferred that to be me. Derrick Rose thought otherwise.
Yeah, he wasn't interested.
No, he wasn't. I had 80% Giannis and 80% Bruce Brown, and I was thinking, I'm going to have a hell of a shot today.
Yeah, dude, I tweeted this last night. It took Giannis 9 minutes to double-double.
Yeah, I watched all of the first half. It's like an NBA team playing a college team.
Yeah, it was it was less than stellar. Outside of that, there were a lot of kind of ugly spots, but 9-gamer today, a lot to get into. It's gonna be a good show.
Josh Richardson, chalk play of the day on DK yesterday, 4,200. Adam played 85%. Alex played 60%. Went for 6.5x. Embiid
was all right. I mean, he didn't kill you.
No, Embiid went for 69.5. That was pretty big.
Richardson though, 39 minutes, an overtime period, you definitely want him to be considerably better than that.
100%.
Shot 3 for 12. It was kind of rough. Embiid had a monster game though.
Alex went with 0 Shaq Harrison after the news of him not starting came out. Adam ended
Makes
up with 56%. So tale of two methods there. Bam smashed like crazy, 70 fantasy points. Giannis was massive at a pretty big number. Russell Westbrook disappointed. James Harden was fine. Highest value play of the day yesterday. We had 2 guys hit 10x. Do you know who they were?
2 guys hit 10x, you say?
Mm-hmm.
Why don't you go ahead and tell me?
Sure. So we had DeAnthony Melton, 3% owned.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Boss Man had 32, so he must be plugged into the Memphis scene.
Wow. Yeah, 23 minutes, too. He didn't get that much run.
Now, 41.5 fantasy points, 5 of 10 from the field, 4 of 5 from 3, 6 boards, a steal, a block.
And if you played Jonas Valanciunas, you were very frustrated last night. Just went completely small throughout that game. Joe Val played 20 minutes in the entire game and was well over a fantasy point per minute. Pretty much just disappeared. Did not get any minutes, and you saw a lot of small ball there. So
DeAnthony Melton had 9 points in the final 23 seconds of the game.
Yeah, I mean they were
this
team. They were down by a lot in the first quarter. They were down like 27-11, and they clawed back into it.
So Melton was at 10.4x, highest value on DraftKings. Second, showing up in actually 103 lineups, which is 103 more than I would have expected. It must be just the way it sorts. Juan Toscano-Anderson dropping 30 at flat minimum.
Yeah, I was not guessing that one.
No, you were not. I mean, would you have been able to? Like, would you have even been able to piece that name together?
No.
Juan Toscano makes a ton of sense. You wouldn't expect it to be hyphenated with Anderson.
No. Well, hey, I mean, people do their thing, right?
Yeah.
I would not have. Okay, where do you think he's from?
God, he's either fully American or from Italy. Or Spain, maybe.
Oh,
Spain?
Oakland, California.
Yeah. Spain.
But no, of course I would not have guessed that.
No.
And shame on anyone who thinks I should have been able to.
No.
He played 20. Can I just say that game? I live bet the Rockets at -22, so I was pretty locked into that shit fest throughout the entire second half. They could not miss threes. It was amazing. The Warriors like 1 for 16 from 3 going into the half. It was horrible. Ended up being a 30-point game. But when you look at how this Rockets team shoots sometimes, man, I get it. They don't really have a center. But when they made 25 threes yesterday. Yeah. 25 of 49, 51% from 3. When you watch something like that and you see them connecting and just clicking, you think they're impossible to beat. But then you look at them from, was it last year or 2 years ago, where it's games, I think 2 years ago, right? Game 7, and they missed like 30 straight threes. No other team lives and dies by that three-pointer like they do. It's really remarkable to watch it.
Anxious to see how they integrate Damari Carroll and Jeff Green. As weird as it sounds, I think that those are both like really solid pickups.
Yeah, absolutely. And even before this game got out of hand, Carroll was getting some opportunities. Jeff Green played almost 25 minutes.
Wait, really?
Yeah, Jeff Green was the second player off the bench, played 24.5 minutes. Carroll played 13.5. No joke.
Interesting.
I don't have the
I got it here. Oh, Bruno even got on.
Yeah.
Bruno played 5 minutes.
Maybe I can type it in the URL.
What do you want to know?
And see if it's up. But I wanted to know how much of Jeff Green's was garbage time.
I mean, he played 24 minutes. How much of it could be garbage time? He was plus 19, so Probably not a ton. They were up by 21 after the first quarter.
They were up by 32 after the third.
Yeah, I'm not trying to type that in on Popcorn Machine right now.
I really, it doesn't matter. I was just, if I could have pulled it up, I would have looked.
Winning lineup last night on DK. Jimmy Butler, DeAnthony Melton, Tobias Harris, Thad Young, Bam Adebayo, Jordan Poole, Robert Covington, Joel Embiid.
Okay. No Trae Young. Dropping a 50
Jimmy
burger.
Butler, former Sixer. Tobias Harris, current Sixer. Robert Covington, former Sixer. Joel Embiid, current Sixer. Thad Young. Is he a Sixer? Yeah, right?
Who?
Thad Young?
What are you talking? Oh, was he?
Yeah.
I thought you said, is he? I'm like, what? Yes, of course. He
Right.
was an OG Sixer.
Right. Yeah. It's a lot of former and current Sixers there. Maybe all those guys can corral themselves together and win a damn road game. Ugh.
Unbelievable.
Mustache bet might be getting paid off in the next 2 days too.
You have to ask Ben about the beat that happened on Murray State.
I woke up to it in my DMs.
99.9% win probability. They were up 25 points with, I think, 6.5 minutes left. Not only did they lose, Josh, they lost in regulation.
Yeah.
Think about that.
I woke up to a
insane.
link of the game recap from Ben with some not nice stuff.
Remarkable. One of the biggest collapses you'll ever see.
Ooh, that's rough, man. That's real rough. Yeah, if the Sixers drop this one to the Bucks tomorrow, I might go and get myself a nice clean shave on Sunday.
It's gonna be a rough couple days.
It is. It's gonna be not great for me.
I may just end up going double mustache with you. We'll see. We'll see.
I might wait to shave till the day before spring break so that when I drive past the elementary school by my house, I don't have any worries.
Yeah, that's good foresight right there.
Yeah. Gotta plan ahead somehow. Unbelievable. All right, guys, go to Super
You're
Draft.
gonna get one of these days. You're gonna get me. I mean, it just it's a game of runs.
Yeah, I'm gonna have some runs in me shorts after this chip today.
That is true.
I hope not.
Very true.
As I was told you earlier, and as I mentioned in a tweet before, in hindsight, eating the hot sauce flavored pork rinds last night was not a good way to line my stomach. I have only had coffee and water so far today, so
I wish people could have seen my reaction before the show started when I said, "Hey, you ate breakfast, right?" You said, "Nah." It's like, "Did you eat anything?" You said, "Nah, I just ate buffalo flavored pork rinds or whatever it was last night." So that's the last thing other than coffee that you drank.
They're
Now,
flavored with Louisiana hot sauce, like powder.
Unbelievable. Have you fired off a dump within the past 12 hours to make sure you're a little bit cleared out?
Nope.
Oh, God.
Now I'm all backed up, man. It's all in there.
So you're just carelessly going into this. There's no prep, nothing.
Nah, my stomach already hurts.
Oh, dude, this is going to be so bad. Drag these games out as long as you can, fella.
Well, I know who's getting some extra views today. Superdraft.io, presenting sponsor of the strategy show. Go there, use the promo code Awesemo, get yourself $20 in super cash. Not having to worry about salaries. They've got their multiplier system. We'll be touching on plays throughout the day. It's significantly more fun, in my opinion. You could really...
It's a lot of fun.
You can get to way more interesting lineup constructions. You don't have to dig the bottom of the barrel. You don't have to worry too much like, oh, is Shaq Harrison going to start tonight? You're just not going to have those sorts of worries.
Can I tell you one thing that they need, though?
Go for it.
So when you log in, you know how like AOL used to say, what was it, like welcome or something? Remember that AOL? You've got mail. I want to log in. I want to open up the tab, and you know what I want to hear?
Super draft.
Super draft. It'd be music to my ears.
You guys could strip that recording if you need to. It's not going to get better than that if you just want to use it.
No, it's perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
But really, go to superdraft.io. They're running fantastic contests every day. Let's see what their big one is today. I want to say it was 10, but that feels low. 25K pool, 5K to first for tonight. That is their jump shot. That is their signature contest each day. But 25K guaranteed prize pool, 5K to first, 2,400 entries. You get $12 to get in. You can get $20 in super cash for your first $100 deposit. That's what you should do. So go check it out. All right, Lof, you want to dive into this?
Yeah. One more thing, because it's our show and we can do what we want.
True.
And I haven't talked to you on a stream in a while.
Also true.
How excited are you for this Wilder Fury fight?
Very excited. Very, very, very excited.
I
will
cannot
certainly be
wait.
watching that tomorrow.
So if you're handicapping this, what do you see happening? And I mentioned to you yesterday, it's actually plus 120 to go the distance. Tyson Fury plus 500 to win by way of knockout, but he's changed his trainer. He's changed a lot up. He says he's going to be gunning from the jump. It should be a lot. The Gypsy King, Bill says, yeah. Bronze Bomber and Gypsy King, two phenomenal nicknames, by the way.
I'm going to drop a couple brown bombs in 2 hours.
Yeah, they might be red with blood.
That's true. They might be bronze, honestly. I've got Fury.
Yeah, okay.
I think he's going to be a bit too technical. I liked him in the first fight, and for the most part, that looked good.
Have you ever seen a man of his size be as elusive as he is?
No,
Seriously,
no.
Ever?
His footwork's incredible for a man that big. But that is where I'm leaning. But honestly, I mean, Wilder can put him to. I mean, I thought Wilder put him to sleep with one punch before, and he rose like the dead. So who knows?
I'm pretty sure he was unconscious for a moment there.
I can't tell if he was unconscious or he was just like hyper aware and was like, all right, I've got 8 seconds to stand up. I've never been able to figure it out.
Amazing. And
I mean, not only did he get up, but he like won the rest of the round.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, he tied him up a little bit. They were clearly getting exhausted, but he started. There were people that saying like he figured something out in that 12th round. I don't know. He got the piss knocked out of him and came back to life. But either way, this is I just haven't been this excited for a fight in a while. Legalized says no one cares about boxing, dude. If you don't care about this fight, you don't have a pulse.
Yeah, and people for sure care about boxing.
So the lighting. Someone's asking why I have a mustache. I got the same as you. I mean, I haven't shaved in a while, but that just goes without saying.
Yeah.
I guess it looks like I've got a pure stash, Josh. Nothing but.
If only.
There you go.
That's I lose the bet, me shortly. So.
I used to when I would like screw up shaving, I would just leave the mustache and come in, to the bedroom late at night, looking like that.
You'd be told to leave immediately.
She hated it, man.
Of course she did.
She's like, God, if you have to lose one of these bets, I really hope that you lose this chip bet. She's like, I don't care if you're in pain. I don't want to see you with that mustache.
I feel like our wives talked.
Your wives, Katie's like, oh, you lost both.
Yeah. She certainly doesn't care if I'm eating a hot chip. That affects her 0%.
All right, you ready?
Let's do it. First game on the docket, Orlando Magic, Dallas Mavericks. Mavs are 3.5-point favorites in Orlando, which is a little surprising, but not important nonetheless.
What's surprising to you?
The Mavs are 3.5-point favorites in Orlando.
I got them at 3.5 last night. I have them at 4.5 now.
Well, I didn't update anything since 6:00, so
I was anticipating a move on that line.
I was too busy not eating breakfast.
You're a nut. It's at 4 now. But yeah, I hear you. Go ahead.
Oh, at 4, I'm just kidding. No one on the Magic has ownership on either FanDuel or DK higher than 7%, which is Vooch on DK. I have Vooch ranked 52nd on DraftKings. He's the only guy that I have ranked. No one is higher at their position on FanDuel than Vooch at 7th at center. Other than $38 on Yahoo for Vooch, I am just not interested in the Orlando Magic here. What do you want to do? By
the way, Kobe Evans says the first donation towards the Buy Josh a New Rectum Fund. Appreciate you, man. Really do.
Rectum.
That's awesome.
Killed him.
Always appreciate the when they're good. The the good comments that come along with those super chats for sure. I'm with you though. With Orlando, really not that big on them. And you go across the board here. We have 9 games. There's 18 teams on this slate. The Orlando Magic simply do not stand out to me, and for a couple of reasons. Is Vooch a decent enough play? Yeah, he's okay. You know, he's priced reasonably. He's played solid basketball. Just from a fantasy point perspective, he's dropped 50 plus in 3 straight, and you've seen those minutes be a lot more consistent this season than we have in the past, which is also something that I take into consideration. Frank Vogel, or I'm sorry, not Frank Vogel. Who's the head coach of the Magic now?
Steve Clifford.
Clifford, thank you. Yeah,
same guy.
Yeah, right. I think Vooch is fine, but we're going to talk about a few other centers that are similarly priced. It makes it far more difficult to get there. The rest of this team, I don't know how you get to them. Dallas is not the best defensive squad, but you've got a sub 220 total in this game. I think that makes sense. The Magic have an implied total, which, look, that's not everything. You know, we talk about this a lot. You factor it in, but it's not the end all and be all. But they have a 107.8 implied total. There's nothing here that jumps off that smacks you in the face as really solid value. Plus, guys like Fultz, price tag is coming up. I've said this a lot about him. He's going to have some decent games, but those 40 plus ones are kind of few and far between, and he's coming off of one. So I'm going to go ahead and assume that we'll have to wait another month. Yeah, I think Aaron Gordon has been priced up too much now. Vooch, as you mentioned, probably the one guy I'm willing to get to. Outside of that, maybe like a little bit of a discounted Evan Fournier, but not a team I'm really interested in.
Yeah, I don't expect to have much, if anything, here. No hot takes for me. I'll have some hot takes in an hour and a half.
I was waiting for that.
We'll go to the Dallas side. Luka, 26% owned on FanDuel, 16% on DK. No one else above 6%, which is Porzingis on DraftKings. I'm not even that interested in Luka, at least not on DK. He ranks 37th for me right now. 10-3 on FanDuel at that position. I'll be happily paying up there. I get the 26% ownership, but I'm not trying to fill out my lineup with Mavs either. This is pretty much just Luka for me. If I got a share or two of Porzingis, I'm not going to complain, but this game is like a DFS wasteland.
It is. I really do like it from a betting perspective, but from a DFS perspective, there's nothing stands out. And like you said with Doncic, I mentioned this on the early bird with Dan Strafford. I think I'm going to be taking a somewhat balanced approach on this slate in terms of not finding it necessary to make sure you get one of these guys above 10K. And there's really only a couple of them, even the 9K plus guys. Some of them are solid. Are they priorities? It's hard to say. Luka Doncic at this price, solid option, but not a priority at all. I'm projecting him back up for, 34, 35 minutes again, but that's about all I can say. And with Kristaps Porzingis, his price has come down to a slightly more palatable spot. But do you want to pay that much for him anyway on this slate with a healthy Luka getting his full allotment of minutes?
I don't. I really don't. There's nothing here.
It's a really ugly DFS game.
It really is. So, cue the triple OT.
Is that the quickest game we've ever done?
Probably. Yeah, we might move a little bit faster on Knicks Pacers.
Yeah. For sure.
Wizards and Cavs. Wiz 6-point favorites at home against Cleveland. Potential for Thomas Bryant to be back. Who the hell knows what happens to that center rotation? Although maybe they'll turn Thomas Bryant into a power forward again. Ish Smith, 24% owned on FanDuel, 16 on DK. Bradley Beal in double digits. Nobody else that we really need to point out there. I had Bradley Beal in my top 10 contenders. I think he looks pretty good. 9,200, 9,400. Cleveland's defense is abysmal. I understand the Ish love. I don't want to go too crazy, but I think his ownership is right around where it should be. Maybe a little bit of Shabazz Napier on DK at 3,900 if no value opens up. $4,200 Troy Brown, maybe. But I think Beal is the clear star here.
He is. I want to start. Well, I'll start with Beal, and then I want to get to the front court because there's a lot of potential moving parts there. I like Beal quite a bit. It's similar to what I was just saying, though. As far as like the 9K and up guys go, there's not that much that feels like a priority there. Bradley Beal does stand out as one of the preferred options. My only concern here is what type of minutes do we get from Bradley Beal? Is he in? Is he now locked in to like has Brooks locked him into a 34-minute per game role?
I gave him 36.
You gave him 36. Okay. See, this is what I had a little bit of trouble with. I met it in the middle, went with 35. Those additional minutes for somebody like Beal, who is a very good player, but also, if we're being honest, not the greatest per minute guy for someone at that price point.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter. Some guys play 33 minutes and they average 1.4 fantasy points per minute. Bradley Beal on the season, recently, even on the season playing a ton of minutes, averaging 1.32 fantasy points per minute. Still very good. Okay. Still really solid numbers. But with this price being elevated like this, above mid 9K, I want to know he's getting me at least 35 minutes. And if that's the case today against Cleveland, it's really hard not to like him. This is a really bad Cleveland defense. Matter of fact, the only defense worse than Cleveland on the season is the Washington Wizards.
They've actually been decent from a fantasy perspective over their last 15 games, which is amazing to think about.
Defensively, you're saying?
Yeah. Craziness. What do you want to do with mildly owned Ish Smith?
All right. Oh, and by the way, now that you mentioned that, Andre Drummond doesn't really have much of an effect from like a defensive rating standpoint. So, he is a good shot blocker. He gets good. He can rack up steals, but outside of that, he's not limiting your production. So I'm not worried that he's, going to be getting minutes for Cleveland and not Detroit. You said Ish Smith?
Ish Smith, 24% owned on FanDuel, 4,900, 16% owned on DraftKings. He's the most owned Wizard.
I got to say, that seems a little bit excessive, but I get it if we're projecting him at like 29 minutes.
Yeah.
I would prefer you get 30 plus from him, of course. Now, this is a player who doesn't average a fantasy point per minute. On the season, you've got Ish Smith coming in at what? On DraftKings, 0.92. Not bad. It's definitely serviceable, but the more minutes, the better. If we're giving him 28, 29, he's fine. I'll ask you though, if he's going to be one of the highest owned players, how easy is it for you to get there?
I would expect to be right around the field. Like the 24% on FanDuel seems about right to me. I have his implied at 24. We have him projected for 23.6, so it's pretty much spot on for me. I would expect to be right there with the field.
That makes sense. And on DraftKings, it's so weird that they usually preemptively price guys up, especially when you've got the whole All-Star break to make that work. And this is the second day back, not the first. But guys like McCollum and Anthony Simons are wildly underpriced, and that is going to basically skew ownership across the board, which is why Ish Smith is coming in at 15.5%, which I think is more reasonable. And I don't think he's a terrible play on DraftKings as a result.
You trying
but
to
the front court?
Yeah, I was gonna say, you trying to figure out their center rotation?
Well, let me ask you this, because Thomas Bryant, Jan Mahimi, and this may not have mattered 2 weeks ago, but now it does. Pasechniks are all questionable to play. If two of them are out, that changes things. If all of them are out, and by the way, the reason I think this could be the case, look at the injuries. Jan Mahimi dealing with a foot injury for a big man, not good. Thomas Bryant dealing with a foot injury as a big man, not good.
Yeah.
And then Pasechnik's dealing with a hip injury. So these are all situations where you could see at least two of them not playing, and then we got to talk about guys like Mo Wagner and Hachimura and Davis Bertans.
Yeah, I'm just going to avoid it until we get more news.
Agreed.
They have too many bodies there to really hash it out and feel comfortable about it.
I agree.
So for right now, I'm just treating it like nothing exists. This is pretty much just Beal and Ish for me.
Yep. I'm with you, but it's definitely a spot against Cleveland that we're going to have to pay very close attention to, getting closer to lock, especially knowing that, this game has a 236 total, second highest on the slate.
Yeah. Which is weird because if you look at the Cleveland team, they're not getting any ownership. Highest owned player on either FanDuel or DraftKings is 8% Colin Sexton, and I don't disagree with it. I don't have a single guy on DraftKings in my player pool from the Cavs.
See, that's, to me, I like Colin Sexton today.
Okay, tell me about why you're so wrong.
I'd be pleased to. First of all,
I'm not in any position to be making those sorts of.
I was gonna do that, but you're already gonna take enough punishment.
Uh-huh.
So John Beeline, is it Beeline? I always struggle with that. Beeline. I think I've asked you that like 4 times. It's one of those odd ones that I always forget the pronunciation.
I whiff on the names of guys that are coming from other countries. You're whiffing on a coach that's been involved in college basketball for 30 years.
I know. I crushed the Eastern Europeans, man. I can't get them wrong. I never really followed like any college basketball is the thing. I have been more recently. I got our boy Ben Rasa coaching me up.
There you go.
But does it not feel like JB Bickerstaff is literally there to be the interim coach for every team that has ever fired the head coach?
Yeah, he is. That's exactly why he's there, because he's a terrible actual coach.
Right, but he is the king of interim coaching. It's incredible.
I think the B in JB stands for break in case of emergency.
So he and actually Dan Strafford brought this up on the early bird, and I think regardless of coach speak, there's a couple of things that really stand out to me. Colin Sexton is already getting huge minutes. I don't see that changing anytime soon. I don't think he's wildly overpriced, number one. $6,300 on DraftKings. Listen, you're not getting a bargain on him, and I'm not going to pretend that you are. And $6K on FanDuel. Both of these I find very reasonable, so I'll break down why. Number one, highest usage player on the team. The guy's going to get shots up. If it's a competitive game, he's going to play 35 minutes. He's also playing against the Washington team that ranks dead last in defense and plays at a top 5 pace on the season. And it's possible that they could be down one or their best defensive center in Jan Mahimi. That doesn't matter to me. Point being that the defense should only get worse. So get a new coach in there. I'm pretty sure he has no purpose other than to run these young guys as much as he can and figure out what he's got. So that's why Colin Sexton at no ownership. Mind you, I'm also factoring ownership in here.
Sure.
The fact that there is none against the Wizards to me is preposterous. That's where we disagree. But I also think that Kevin Porter at less than 5% is interesting. Another young player that probably gets 32 minutes tonight and goes entirely unowned against probably the best fantasy matchup in basketball.
We're almost in March, man. You almost get that baseball talk.
I had to do baseball research for Sirius already. Gotcha. So,
Indians and Nats. I'm not going to be getting to Cleveland here unless there's an injury. Like Drummond, I have ranked 8th at the center position. That's the highest ranked guy I have on FanDuel on a position by position basis. So, I'm not going to get my 8th center.
How many minutes are you giving Sexton?
33.
See, I have him at 35.
Okay, if I gave him 35, he would be more interesting. No kidding, obviously.
I'm a bit surprised.
Here, I'll give him 1 more minute. I'll give Garland 1 more minute. There we go. 34 apiece. Neither guy shows up on my player pool.
Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah, look, I'm a little surprised too. I think it's just sort of looks like he's 6K and he's just sort of like priced exactly where like a 1 fantasy point per minute guy is at 6K.
I hear you. I get
Kevin Porter's $11 on Yahoo. I don't hate that.
You don't hate or don't need that?
I don't hate that.
Okay, yeah. Whenever the Cavs have a 115 implied total and a 236 over under game against such a bad team, I don't mind going to high usage guys that play a lot of minutes. That's
Fair.
that's pretty much where I'm at. High usage players, and mind you, though, I gave Sexton 35 minutes, so that's going to be a little bit different. I don't have anyone else from Cleveland, though.
Okay.
Kevin Porter Jr. and Sexton.
New York Knicks, Indiana Pacers. This is a stink bomb as well, although Pacers are a little bit okay on FanDuel. We'll start on the New York Knicks side, where they are 6-point underdogs at home. 8K Julius Randle on FanDuel, 81 on DraftKings. He is in low double digits in ownership, 12 and 11 respectively. No one else in double digits. I have Randle ranked 47th on DraftKings. He is my 10th ranked, I assume, power forward. I will not be getting to the Knicks. This is quite the theme to start this day. I have no interest here. Can't really pitch anything. RJ Barrett for 4,300 on FanDuel would be the guy that I would have, I would want to take a flyer on GPPs, but I'm not looking to get the Knicks up against the Pacers. 102.75 implied total is by far the lowest of the slate.
It really is. Let me just make sure I'm not missing anything here from my initial preliminary research, because upon that, I had nothing from this game. And I'll tell you why if people, ask, well, what about Mitchell Robinson? I think we could give you reasons why there are players like I'll get to Dwight Howard in a little bit and tell you why, if you're going to go with a cheap center that gets 23 to 25 minutes, go with him over Mitchell Robinson. I could go down the list, Josh, of players at each position or on the Knicks at each position. And pretty much we don't need to, but give you an in-depth explanation of why they can't even be top 5 prioritized at their own position.
I've Randle 10th, Elfrid Payton 13th, and RJ Barrett 15th on FanDuel at their positions.
Yeah. If I'm going to anyone, it's Randle, just because he's a really good player. He, can give you up to 38 minutes in regulation. That makes him appealing, but just not enough. Whole team.
I don't have new word. If you play Julius Randle, that's fine. 5 to 10% Julius Randle, it's always feels mildly reasonable. I just don't have a take on that. Otherwise, I'm good.
I also don't have a ton of interest in the Pacers, but at the same time, we need to break down what we're getting from Oladipo. I gave him 32 minutes.
I gave him
what
28.
Did you give Oladipo? What?
I gave him 28. And we do have to break down the Pacers because this is a tale of two different sites.
28. He's off his minutes limit. That was the plan.
Yeah. Let's see him play the end of the fourth quarter against the Knicks. I mean, he played 28 the last time that no, but I don't. This doesn't feel like the game where he plays 34 fresh off the All-Star break. Put it that way. He's 4,600 on FanDuel and 6,400 on DraftKings.
Yeah, no interest on DraftKings.
Right. 23% owned on FanDuel. Brogdon 22, yeah. Domantas Sabonis 13, where he is 7,700 instead of the 9,600 that he is on DK.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm giving him 32 minutes, so I think that's a pretty good explanation of what exactly I expect to see. I'm not projecting him for huge fantasy totals until he can show some semblance of efficiency. And the odd thing, Josh, is the last game he shot 71%, but only shot 7 times. And I couldn't help but think that, number one, TJ Warren was red hot against Milwaukee, but
Warren questionable today, by the way.
What's that?
Warren's questionable today, by the way.
Yes, he is. Yeah. I couldn't help but wonder if this was like a confidence thing for Oladipo. Just he had been shooting so poorly. He improved it a little bit over the past couple of games. I think they just went up early and they went up by a lot, and he wasn't really needed. But he doesn't have a single game with north of 25 fantasy points or 15 real points yet. So it's strictly the minutes and the price tag that's getting me there, not my confidence that he's going to be able to put up big numbers.
I like him on FanDuel. If I gave him 30 minutes, I would like him in a shocking amount. Right now, I would expect to be right at or slightly north of the field, which is fine. I think the guy that we really need to talk about is Domantas Sabonis. $7,700 for him on FanDuel is broken if he is $9,600 on DK. We're only projecting him for 13% ownership. I would absolutely like to get more than that against the Knicks.
Yes, I'm with you. Number one, when you talk about this being a tale of two sites, you could not be any more accurate. Actually, this is like a more pronounced difference in pricing that I think we've seen in a pretty long time for an individual team. $9,600 Sabonis on DraftKings, a pass. The funny thing is, I really like him today, but that's too much. If he was like 8,700, 86, you could talk me into getting the Sabonis on DraftKings. $7,700 on FanDuel. There's really no conversation to be had here. He's going to play a considerable amount of minutes. I've got him in for 34.
Same.
Sure. Does a blowout? Is there a possibility of a blowout? Yeah, whatever. But look, they're 6.5 point dogs. It's not like they're double digit dogs at home.
Right.
The Knicks. It could be worse. Sabonis at 77, Oladipo at his price point, very cheap. Both of them. You don't really even need analysis here. You know they're good players. You know they're playing a bad team. You know they're going to get, at least I think Oladipo is going to get additional minutes. And oddly enough, as you pointed out, Sabonis, the big difference there is while Oladipo is getting 24% ownership right now, Sabonis is going largely overlooked.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what's most interesting to me. Like right now, I would prefer him to Zion. Zion getting close to double the amount of ownership. I would just rather go to Sabonis in that spot.
Yeah, I can't wait till we get to that game. I got a lot to say on that Pels game.
Likewise.
Keep talking for 1 second.
I can do that. Brogdon at 22% ownership feels a tad high to me, especially with Oladipo back and potentially picking up more and more playing time. He's going to just have a natural lowering of his usage rate. 6,100 feels okay, but 22% is too high. I expect that number to come down as we get closer to lock. Certainly a part of my player pool. I've got him ranked 7th at his position. Not going to go too crazy there. 5,700 for Miles Turner on FanDuel isn't bad. 5K on DraftKings isn't bad. But as this team starts to get more and more healthy, he's going to become a tougher sell. Just not going to be as involved as you would like. Don't expect him to be on the Pacers moving forward. Loffy bailed. We'll keep talking Pacers. Don't play Justin Holiday. Don't play TJ McConnell. Don't play Doug McDermott.
No, correct. I heard everything you said. AirPods are a wonderful thing, aren't they?
They are.
They really are.
Big fan. Oh, have you? Since we haven't, I don't think we've talked about it. Have you started to like the new ones yet? Or did you return them?
I returned them.
You did?
I returned them like 2 days later. I hated them.
Interesting.
I had the first generation ones, and then I told you I got the new, like the ones that had the noise canceling and everything. I hated them, man. So I got the second gen ones. I returned them for these, which were cheaper and fit way better and just feel way nicer. And I got the wireless charging. So
there you go.
Not bad. Not bad.
Fair enough.
But
final thoughts on the Pacers.
Sabonis and Oladipo. And I will say my only concern when it comes to a guy like Oladipo, and I think I've mentioned this to you before, is that with Brogdon having like a legitimate pass first point guard in Brogdon, it could help Oladipo get some easier buckets. But I also have concerns that from an assist rate perspective, I'm not necessarily sure how much that's going to hurt him on the year. And we don't have a lot of, we don't have a large sample at all, but on the year, Oladipo with Brogdon on the floor, 162 minutes, 0.72 fantasy points per minute, DraftKings points per minute, and a 17% assist rate. Let's hope that turns around a little bit, but he has not been great alongside Malcolm Brogdon.
No, he has not. Move on. Toronto Raptors, Phoenix Suns. Raptors 7.5 point favorites against the Suns. No Marc Gasol, no Norm Powell, no
that's it.
No, the other dude used to be on the Warriors.
Oh, we're talking about Patrick McCaw?
Yes, Patrick McCaw. I knew I was missing a third guy. You know what? I whiffed on it on the
he doesn't
contenders
count.
video too, and it took me some time, and I left that in, and I still haven't remembered. Oh, it's it's minutes nonetheless. Lots to like here, I think, for Toronto. Good spot. Phoenix is relatively neutral from a defensive standpoint. Ibaka, Van Vliet, Lowry, all in the 20s in ownership on FanDuel. Siakam, 13. Ibaka and Lowry both in double digits on DK. I really like Lowry and Ibaka on Yahoo. My favorite guy in this game is probably Serge Ibaka, although I have Ibaka and Lowry both number 1 at their positions on FanDuel. Van Vliet's number 2. I have no problem spending $7,900 on Pascal Siakam on FanDuel. $8,400 on DraftKings is fine. I want to get those 4 core dudes: Siakam, Lowry, Van Vliet, Ibaka. I think all 4 of them look pretty good for today.
I was surprised the Suns were only 6.5 point dogs here, honest, or 7.5. I thought it'd be a bit of a wider gap than that. I get the Gasol and Powell are out, but
Phoenix getting healthy too. Aaron Baines might be back. They're like starting 6.5 guys are pretty solid NBA players.
They are. They're just, I don't know. In terms of getting wins, they have really struggled in that respect. Anyway, DraftKings pricing is outside of this Portland game, oddly enough, is usually pretty sharp. All of them are reasonably priced. I think your best price point has to be Serge Ibaka, though.
Yeah.
Against Phoenix, with DeAndre Ayton just being, is uninterested in playing quality defense as anybody. It's a good spot for Serge Ibaka, which I really like at 6,500.
Got to pause you on that Ayton statement because I am normally right there with you. Most recent Zach Lowe podcast had a bit of a discussion. Ayton has been significantly better defensively than he was in his first year. They were quick to compliment him for making some improvements. I'm not saying that he's Rudy Gobert or anything now, but he's playing much more as like an average defensive center than we probably thought. I guess
that makes sense.
I was saying the same thing too.
Yeah, I'm looking at it now. It's still below average, to be fair, but it has improved from last year, which was just atrocious.
I guess he's looking a little smarter, not as lost out there too, which makes some sense.
Sure. And let's be clear, it should have no impact on how we feel about.
No, not at all. Not at all. I just when they mentioned it, I was like, "Oh, okay. I need to reevaluate."
For sure.
The way that I talk about that.
It's definitely something worth bringing up. So I really like Ibaka. Where are you at on Lowry and Van Vliet on DraftKings? $77 and $7,400 respectively.
I like Lowry more than I like Van Vliet. I don't mind either, but I have Lowry ranked 17th, 12% ownership. I would probably be in like the 20% range given those ranks. So I'm a fan. I just want to have these guys because I expect, 2 of them to, I don't want to say smash, but like something's breaking free for Toronto. That's for sure. And I would expect it to be coming from that, 4-man group. I really like focusing on those 4 Toronto starters.
Okay.
But Lowry would be my favorite guy coming from on the DK side.
Agreed.
Compared to Van Vliet, sorry. Ibaka is
gotcha. Okay.
Ibaka number 1 for sure.
I'm with you then. Then we're on the same page. I think I'd put Siakam 3, Van Vliet 4. So on DraftKings, and those 2 to me are a bit interchangeable. It's very close. Would go Ibaka, would go Lowry, Siakam, Van Vliet. If you wanted to go Van Vliet, Siakam, I wouldn't care. But I think for me, the 2 priorities here would be Ibaka and would be Lowry on DraftKings.
On the Phoenix side, Oubre at 13% on FanDuel, Booker at 11% on DraftKings. Those are the only 2 guys in double digits. It's looking like Aaron Baines is probably back. Not that that matters. I don't have any interest in DeAndre Ayton at those price tags. Booker looks like he's going to be in my lineups on both sites. Much more so on DraftKings at 7,900. A little bit of Rubio I think is fine. This is not a spot where I'm looking to get a lot of Phoenix Suns, though.
No.
Very, very minimal filler.
This is one of those games where I do worry that it could get a little bit ugly. I know it's 7.5 points, but it's not a spot in basketball. You certainly aren't forced to stack games at all. Far less correlation, but there is always that that concern that if a game gets out of hand, your players lose minutes. I don't mind if you're running like a Baca Lowry lineups, getting Booker on that same spot in the event that it stays close, because if it does, if this game is close against a good Toronto team in Toronto, Devin Booker's probably going to have a solid game. He's $7,900 on DraftKings. That is still too cheap. How much too cheap? I don't know. 8,300 on FanDuel, but I think you're getting decent value on Booker. Ricky Rubio, he's also cheap, but he has been very disappointing lately. It's a good Toronto backcourt defense. For me, the one guy that stands out on this team would be Devin Booker on DraftKings. Yeah. More than willing to get there. And then with Oubre, yes, the minutes have been really solid, but it honestly, this is just a Booker spot for me for Phoenix.
I'm with you. Booker definitely the guy that stands out most on DK, and I don't think he's getting enough ownership. He's been good as of late. I just don't expect to get a lot of Phoenix.
I don't either.
Just got a message from the wife. Still around 10:30. I was like, nah, it's probably looking like 11 o'clock or so. She's like, I have a call at 11. Please do it a little after 11.
Oh, she wants to watch it?
Oh yeah, she's gonna come up to the office and watch me cry.
Oh,
whatever. She's hungover. I hope it hurts.
Oh man, I can't wait. Cannot wait. But anyway,
Minnesota Timberwolves, Boston Celtics. Celtics 6.5 point favorites in Minnesota. Honestly, surprised that that's not a bigger number. Wolves are picking up a little bit of love. Russell in double digits. James Johnson in double digits. Malik Beasley in the 20s. Juancho Hernan-Gomez around 20% owned. Josh Okogie at 11% on DraftKings. They made the decision to not recall Amari Spellman from the G League for this one, even though they know the cat is out. I thought that is interesting. I like these guys a little bit more than the public does right now. I think James Johnson for 4,600 on DraftKings is the best play on Minnesota. I would happily get to the field or more of D'Angelo Russell, particularly as a 1.35x multiplier on SuperDraft. One of my favorite plays there. $36 on Yahoo, also looking good. Russell on FanDuel probably is his best spot, 8,600. No issue getting to Beasley. No issue getting to Juancho. Both of those guys around 20% seems like where they should be owned given their roles on the team. How are you feeling about Minnesota here? Tough spot against Boston, that's for sure.
You know what's crazy? Do you know where James Johnson's from?
Like where was he born?
Yeah, like what state?
Idaho.
No, but I really want to visit Idaho, by the way.
You a big potato guy?
No. It's a beautiful place. I mean, seriously, gorgeous place. I'm trying to get there sometime this year. But he's from Wyoming.
Dude, that's a hell of I'm close.
That is definitely close.
They could be the same state as far as I'm concerned.
Wyoming has the smallest, I'm pretty sure it's the least populated state in America. I just found that weird that James Johnson was from professional basketball player out of freezing cold Wyoming. Watch the movie Wind River, by the way, if you haven't done so yet. It takes place in Wyoming. Outstanding. I just thought I'd throw that out. What? No?
I don't know.
I thought I would throw that out there. I did not expect James Johnson to be from, I don't expect anyone to be from Wyoming, quite frankly. So I want to pose this question to you. You've got James Johnson, Wyoming James, they call him, probably getting like 32 minutes here. And that's what we saw last time out. We saw around 32 minutes.
Yeah, I gave him 31.
Okay, 31. Yeah. Fair enough. No issues with that. This is a guy that at times has definitely dealt with some, per 36 foul issues. Mm-hmm. Naz Reid has been a really solid per minute guy this season. For a guy that doesn't get a ton of run, you're getting pretty decent numbers from him. On DraftKings, he's averaging 1.23 fantasy points per minute. He played 22 minutes. Johnson played 32 last game, and they played about 8 minutes alongside each other. What are your thoughts on a guy like Naz Reid on DraftKings or FanDuel, where he's 4,200 compared to James Johnson at 5,200, in the event that their ownership is wildly different.
Right now it's 10% Johnson, 8% Reed.
See, that is crazy.
I have no interest in Naz Reid, and I have significantly more in James Johnson. The way that it's set up like that.
What if it was like 30% and 5%?
I would have mild interest in Naz Reid, but I would expect that I just didn't have him in general.
Okay. James Johnson on DraftKings, though, 18.4% ownership right now.
Yeah.
Naz Reid should be way less. So the reason I brought this up is because on DraftKings, they're $100 separated. There's no decision to make there.
No.
$1,000 difference on DraftKings is why you're getting that ownership so much closer. I like him a little bit more on FanDuel than you do. Not a priority, certainly. But let's talk about the minutes that Saunders is likely going to give these guys. Juancho Hernangomez, monster minutes last time out, 38 minutes in that game. Pretty incredible. I'm not giving him 38, but I am giving him 34 minutes here.
Same.
And okay, I don't think it's the craziest thing in the world. I'm giving D'Angelo Russell 35 minutes here, and I'm giving Malik Beasley 34 minutes. So there you have it. Okogie, I have it 30 minutes. It's not a good matchup, but they don't have anybody outside of Russell. You've got Karl Anthony Towns. Who else are we working with, Josh? Beasley's your second leading, going to be your second scoring option behind D'Angelo Russell. If this game stays close and you're getting another 35 minutes from Hernangomez, another 35 from Russell, another 35 from Beasley, that should be enough to get them over the top. And they're not overpriced. Like Hernangomez is not overpriced.
No.
I'm with you. I like Minnesota more than I like a bunch of other teams, especially given that you would think at least that ownership would be quite a bit higher than it is.
We are pretty much on the same page for this one. Russell's just sort of there. Like you just play him and you don't really worry about it all that much. The James Johnson Naz Reid dynamic will be interesting. I do want to pay attention to it, but for now, I just have a hard time giving Naz Reid those minutes.
That's fair. Their ownership's a little higher than I thought, by the way.
Yeah.
I looked at the wrong thing. I was looking at another site. So it's high, but I don't know. They're still cheap.
And on the Boston side, if you don't like the Boston side of this game, you should not be playing DFS.
Well, hold on. Who are your favorite plays from Minnesota?
Which site?
Whatever you want. FanDuel, DraftKings.
FanDuel's tight. I have Russell, Johnson, Beasley, and Hernangomez all basically the same. Although James Johnson, because of position, ranks a bit higher. So I would go James Johnson, Russell, Beasley, Hernangomez. That one's basically a coin flip. On DK, it's James Johnson, Russell, Hernangomez, Beasley, Okogie.
Okay. Let's see. You said James Johnson, Russell, Hernangomez, Beasley, Okogie?
Yes.
That's exactly where I'm at as well.
Okay. Boston's going to be without Kemba Walker, so it's time to fire up a few of these guys. Tatum's in double digits in ownership, right around 20 on both sites. Jaylen Brown in the 20s on both sites. Marcus Smart, Daniel Tice. Gordon Hayward not getting all that much love. Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown both made the contenders today. 8,700 for Tatum on FanDuel, 7,800 on DraftKings, 1.3x multiplier on SuperDraft. I love him clear across the board. Picks up huge usage increases with Kemba out. He's been playing out of his mind in the last 30 days. I expect it to continue. Pace up spot for Boston. Crappy Minnesota defense. I want Tatum. I want Brown. I want Smart. I want Tice. I want Hayward. I'm going to have these guys a lot in all sorts of combos. This is a fantastic spot for Boston.
Yes, it is. Tatum playing phenomenal basketball. You're finally starting to see an emergence of like pretty high ceiling, which wasn't there before.
Yeah.
Even so, on the season, 1.3 DraftKings points per minute in 707 minutes with Kemba off the floor. You'll take that all day long. 32% usage, 16% assist, 12% rebounding. Really solid. 1.28 FanDuel points per minute. Great numbers across the board. Jason Tatum, one of my favorite options on the slate. He's also going to be one of the public's favorite options on this slate, rightfully so. I also like Jaylen Brown. He shouldn't be. This is one where I think DraftKings messed up. He should not be sub 6K on DraftKings. I do not care if he has played, less than stellar basketball over the past 3 or 4 games. That means nothing to me. Very, very solid matchup against Minnesota. I just don't really know I don't know what's not to like here. I will say this much though. Minnesota. Oh, by the way, Minnesota since the start of January is still a top 5, top 6 pace team.
Yeah.
So I love that. But I've mentioned this a lot with Boston throughout the season. This was before Tatum started to kind of pull away from the pack from a production standpoint. I'll take the guy that's either lowest owned if they're all similarly priced or the cheapest guy. And I know that Hayward's getting less ownership than these guys, but it's really hard for me to prioritize him only $800 less than Tatum and $1,100 more than Jaylen Brown, even at ownership difference. It's hard for me to do that.
I agree. I have Tatum and Brown with like a pretty nice step ahead of Hayward. Still want to get Hayward, that's for sure.
Yes.
And Hayward for 7K on FanDuel, I think works a lot better from a positionality standpoint.
I like Hayward, but I just don't. The price makes it a little bit more difficult to get there. I mean, look, Tatum or Brown 1.05 fantasy points per minute without Walker this year, 1.09 for Gordon Hayward. I know if you're looking at like the box score, the recency bias is going to push you in favor of Hayward based on his numbers, but they're really not that different as far as fantasy production goes at all.
No. I don't need a lot of Marcus Smart at 5,900 on DK, but at 5,400 on FanDuel, I'm more interested. And then Daniel Tice just sort of works no matter what you want to do. It's a fantastic spot for him going up against James Johnson and Naz Reid.
I hear you. The whole team is appealing. I don't see myself getting to an immense amount of Brad Wanamaker, but
no.
I do have him playing 26 minutes. So he's okay. Do you have interest in Marcus Smart?
On FanDuel, yes. On DraftKings, not really. He would probably be like a 5 to 10% guy. So basically the same as the field. Maybe like a little bit lighter. Who's your favorite Boston guy on DK?
It's really close between Tatum and Brown.
Yeah.
But I'll go Tatum here just with the way he's exploded recently. He's been spectacular, far more aggressive, getting to the rim at will, getting to the line at a high clip. Everything I've seen from Jason Tatum recently has really been impressive, and it's translated into great fantasy production. So give me Tatum, but you can't look at a $5,900 Jaylen Brown with no Kemba and say he's not far behind.
Absolutely not.
Or close behind.
Tatum is 1A. I would say Brown is 1B for me on DK. I prefer Brown to Tatum on FanDuel, where they're separated by $3,000.
Right. That's crazy.
Anything else in this game?
No, I think we covered that pretty well, pretty comprehensively.
Perfect time for everybody to hit that like button. It helps us out a ton. There are 600 of you in here and only 95 likes. That doesn't seem like nearly enough. So go ahead and hit the thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell so you know when we go live. Tons of content today. At noon, the Awesemo Odds Betting Show. Ben Rasa and Jordan Frank talking some sports betting. 2 p.m. Eastern Time. Chris Spags and Sal Vetri will be talking XFL for Week 3. Jake will have the NHL strategy at 4. Alex will be on the deeper dive with Adam at 5 p.m. And then myself and Chris Spags will be taking you all the way up until lock and then some. Extra 30 minutes for Super Draft. That will come at 6 p.m. NBA projections are free today. The NHL live blog is free today. It's going to be a good one. And stick around because in probably, 20, 25 minutes, I will be eating a very, very hot chip that is not fun at all.
I'm really hungry right now, and I'm looking at this chip in front of me, and I would love
I'm gonna take a little nibble.
Eat it.
Eat it. Go ahead.
Yeah,
you hungry? Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Take a bite.
Like a tiny little nibble and see what happens.
No, like a full chip bite. You're not.
No, I didn't lose this bet.
You're not gonna do this. Don't open it because then that ruins the entire chip.
All right.
If you open the package, you're never going to eat it then.
All right, I'll hold off. This shit is $40. I mean, colossal waste of money.
Yeah, we bought 2 of them.
We bought 2. Oh, it's stupid.
When I first looked, like the shipping date looked weird. So I made sure that the moment I knew that I lost, I was like, I just need to make sure that this is at the house.
Right. I'm an idiot. I was like super stoked for all of this. So I purchased it that night and sent it to myself. I have no idea what I was doing.
4 games to go. Let's see. How well did we do on hitting that like button? Up to 137. Terrible effort, guys. More thumbs up. This is the gem. This is the one you want to like. This is helpful for us. Oklahoma.
We love you guys.
We do
love us
guys.
back.
Yes, please
love us back.
I am going to pay for those thumbs ups in absolute agony. Oklahoma City Thunder, Denver Nuggets. Thunder are 2-point favorites at home. Both of these teams have sub 110 implied totals. This isn't going to be a place where you're getting a lot of exposure. Chris Paul and Danilo Gallinari are both in the teens on FanDuel. Paul, SGA, Gallo, Schroeder, and Adams are all between 10 and 15% on DraftKings. I like SGA the most of anybody here. I don't like anybody significantly. These are just guys where I expect to rotate through 5 Oklahoma City Thunder guys like pretty regularly. I expect to have like 1 in almost all of my lineups. I don't expect this to be a place where I get a lot of volume. These are all like 5 to 10%ers.
I really just don't like this game very much.
No, I like the Denver side even less.
Very low total. Last I looked, it's still the second lowest on the slate. All right, you take a look at the implied totals here, and you've got Denver and the Thunder in the bottom 5. Denver at 106.5 now, Josh. 108.5 for the Oklahoma City Thunder. You talk about rotating them through. I don't have an issue with that. I think I'm going to end up just having, as you mentioned, having a few of them, hopefully not multiple OKC Thunder players in the same lineup. But all in all, it's a tough spot to get to. And then when it comes to Denver, and you could go back and touch on OKC more if you wanted to, but just similar thinking. Now that Millsap is back and Plumlee is back, and they're going to probably give Michael Porter Jr. some more minutes. Like it comes down to guys like Barton getting the run, and Murray and Jokic. I do think that Murray probably gets another 35 or more minutes here, which is interesting. He's played really well since returning from injury, and Nikola Jokic is going to play 34 minutes again, which is fine. But I can't say I have a priority from this game. If Jamal Murray ends up going overlooked, he could be someone, and I was looking at this earlier today, he could be someone just with the usage and amount of minutes he's been getting. If he stays at 1% ownership, I might be willing to get to a little Jamal Murray.
I agree. I have him at 70 or as my number 9 point guard on FanDuel, and that's at 33 minutes. He could climb pretty quickly just by throwing another minute on there.
Yeah. But I mean, look at his playing time since he's returned, right? He's been playing a ton, and he was thrown into the fire in that overtime game against Utah where he played 43, 35, 34, 44 minutes is what he's played since returning.
Yeah, it's craziness. It's absolute craziness. I can't imagine that's what they want to do, but we shall see.
They might need to, though.
10-1 for Jokic on FanDuel works for me if you need to pay up. No one on Denver has ownership higher than 4%, though. This is just not a fantasy game. To me, outside of SGA, who I am pretty much higher on constantly.
I'm sorry. Who? SGA, you said?
SGA is my favorite play in this game.
Okay.
And that is not like I'm going to have him in 60% of my lineups type thing, but like 15%, you know?
Right. Schroeder's price has come down, but I mean,
yeah.
Would you rather go Dennis Schroeder at 5,600 or, and this is on DraftKings, or Ricky Rubio at 5,700 or Marcus Smart at 59?
That was
kind of a tough one.
Schroeder 56,
or Rubio 57, Marcus Smart 59. So they're all within $300 of each other.
Smart and Shooter are a coin flip. I don't have Rubio in the same tier.
Okay.
That's all I got here, man. The Denver side is a wasteland.
It is. I'll stress again, I really do think that Murray could end up being a solid option who's looked spectacular with a ton of runs since returning.
He's the kind of guy you
really
want
well.
in a GPP.
Say that again?
He's the kind of guy you want in a GPP.
Exactly. And that's all I'm saying. He's not crazy. If Murray was 6,500, man, I think I'd have a lot of him. But I still envision 7,100 if I give him 35 minutes. I hope he pops up a little bit because, like you said, he's the type of guy that could be a game changer in a tournament tonight in what should be a very close game.
Ugh. Utah Jazz, San Antonio Spurs. There's actually some.
I'm good.
Oh, yeah, you shouldn't be. There's a lot of ownership coming in on this Jazz side.
I know, especially with the Mitchell price point.
Jazz are 7-point favorites at home against the Spurs. Rudy Gobert, 21% owned on FanDuel, 15 on DK. Donovan Mitchell's 20% owned. Boyan in double digits. Joe Ingles, 20% on DraftKings. Royce O'Neal, 16% on
there
DK.
It is.
1.5x Donovan Mitchell on Superdraft is probably my favorite play of the day. Gobert and Mitchell both look fantastic on Yahoo. Mitchell was in my contenders this morning. He is definitely my favorite play from the Jazz, but I'm going to be working Boyan in on FanDuel. I'm going to be working in, Gobert on both sites. He's my number 2 center on FanDuel. Happy to get there. I'm going to be getting a decent amount of these Jazz guys, but Donovan Mitchell in particular, 6,900 on DraftKings, just comically underpriced.
It is. Here's why I say I'm good. Okay. Donovan Mitchell, 6,900, very easy decision to make. But when it comes to guys like Royce O'Neal, coming up, flirting with 20% ownership, he's cheap. Sure. Okay, fine. But he is also, if Royce O'Neal is going to be almost 20% owned, I want basically nothing to do with somebody who legitimately plays 39 minutes last game and has 18 fantasy points. That's only one game, but just take a gander at what we've got from him all season long.
Yeah.
He is one of the least productive per minute players in the league this season, and pretty much always, at least for somebody that actually gets minutes. 0.64 DraftKings points per minute on the year, Josh. And it's not like playing with Mitchell, big minutes with Mitchell and Bogdanovich and everyone is going to help him. It's not. So that's one reason that I have some reservations here. And then when it comes to like Bogdanovich, entirely scoring dependent small forward who I'd say is priced fine, but I'd really rather just take the discount and get to Joe Ingles here. He's not gonna score as much, and quite frankly, it's been kind of ugly for him on the scoring front. But he is a very good passer, and I expect to see double-digit potential assists here. So, like I said, I don't want to overreact to it, but the Utah Jazz, when they are chalk, Mitchell not included, it gets a little bit hard for me to stomach.
Speaking of things that are hard to stomach, we're 2 games away from me eating this stupid chip.
You can't help yourself.
No, I can't. I'm starting to get anxiety. But for real, though, I'm going to have a lot of Gobert and Mitchell on FanDuel. I can't avoid these guys. Gobert, number 2 center. Mitchell, number 3 point guard. Point guard? Shooting guard? No idea what position he is on. Shooting guard.
Mitchell?
Yeah, shooting guard on FanDuel.
On FanDuel?
Yeah.
Yeah, shooting guard.
Just have to work my way through some Jazz guys. On the opposite side, this is a 2-man show as it normally is. DeMar DeRozan, LaMarcus Aldridge. Give me, 8 to 14% ownership on both guys, sort of similar to where they are in our projected ownership, and I don't want anything else. 107.5 implied total, not fun. And multiple people telling me to man up. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, they're not the ones doing this.
Yeah. I mean, I'm going to eat it. There's no doubt.
I know you are.
It's really, What's the opposite of a light at the end of the tunnel? Finding out that light was a train.
Yeah. Right. There was a light, but it wasn't the end of the tunnel.
Yeah, no. It was the end of the tunnel for me.
One guy that you need to mention though is $6,800 DeRozan on DraftKings. Yep. That's still too cheap.
Yeah, I got him ranked 20th.
What's up?
I got him ranked 20th on DK.
Overall?
Yeah,
sounds about right. At the ownership he's coming in at right now, nothing crazy, 13 or so percent, 14%. I don't have an issue with it. I'm not big on matchups against the Utah Jazz, especially for a guy that lives in the mid-range. But I think sub 7K on DeRozan is definitely worth considering. And, he's going to be way lower owned than Mitchell, which makes sense. But how much better is Mitchell on this slate than DeRozan? Serious question. I'd like to get your opinion on that.
To me, significant.
Significant?
Yeah. Close to double the odds of hitting a target score for me right now. I have him 3.5 points ahead. I don't think the ownership disparity of 23 and 14 is enough to make that up. So I pretty greatly prefer Mitchell to DeRozan. If my projections are to be believed, let's see. Donovan Mitchell, DeMar DeRozan. I have Mitchell outscoring DeRozan 60% of the time. So in that regard, it's closer. I just think that Mitchell has a slightly higher, standard deviation of performance.
Yeah, I think it's a pretty reasonable point.
Okay. 2 to go. The late night hammers. LA Lakers, Memphis Grizzlies. Grizzlies on a back-to-back. Lakers 11-point favorites at home. Dwight Howard picking up a little love, right around 10% ownership. But this is a two-man situation for me, at least from LA. It's LeBron and AD. That should be not surprising whatsoever. They're both getting ownership. Mid-20s on FanDuel, teens on DraftKings. I'm just going to go site by site. I prefer LeBron James to Anthony Davis on FanDuel, although it is close. I prefer, it's basically a coin flip on DK just because of AD's discount, same ownership as well. I'd rather get to AD on SuperDraft where he actually has the 1.05 multiplier. And then on Yahoo, $48 for Anthony Davis. I prefer that price tag. But ultimately, these are the only two guys I want. And I think at their current ownerships, that seems about right. Around 20 or so on FanDuel, in the teens on DK. I don't have a big-time stance here, even with the Lakers having what I believe is the highest implied total.
I think this ends up being a real tough night for the Memphis Grizzlies. They clawed their way back into yesterday's game in Sacramento. Ended up coming within 2 points, losing it by 4. Now they've got a quick turnaround in LA. Sure, both California games, they're not going too far. But that was one of those games where you really would have liked to have won that, and they couldn't pull it out. I don't believe they led for a single second of the game. They didn't. But they clawed within 2, and I think you get a big letdown spot here. They're double-digit dogs. LeBron and Anthony Davis, I'll let your analysis speak there because I don't really have anything to add to it. Dwight Howard, though, is somebody that is intriguing to me. He played 30 minutes last game, 25 in regulation, 25 against Phoenix. If you give Dwight Howard 24 minutes or so here, at least to me, he becomes a pretty appealing option against Memphis. I have some interest in Dwight Howard today.
I don't mind him, but if he's already at 10%, I think that we're already getting, people are already getting there.
Yeah, 10% is not crazy.
No, I just never know what to do with those guys. It feels really weird to me to play one of two centers that are in a timeshare, and they're not even the only guys in that timeshare.
I hear you, but I put it this way. This is where we're likely differing. I think I like him over Daniel Tice. Tice $300 more expensive. identical projected ownership right now.
Yeah, I definitely prefer Tice in that scenario.
Yeah. So I probably also have Howard for a couple extra minutes than you do.
Also true. Tell you what I don't prefer. Anything from the Memphis Grizzlies, who don't have anyone projected for more than 7% ownership on either site. Joval is my number 5 center on FanDuel, and I'm still not interested. Nobody ranked higher than 33rd on DK. This is just not a spot for me from the Grizzlies.
I think Joval's. I have a little bit more interest in Joval than you do. I understand why people don't like Jonas Valanciunas here, but there are a couple of things that stand out. He's 1% projected on DraftKings right now. In the event that this game does stay close, I think it'll have a lot to do with him. He got only 20 minutes yesterday, which was really strange. You just saw you just saw the Grizzlies go really small in this matchup against the Kings. And quite frankly, I don't necessarily blame Taylor Jenkins for doing so because, as we know, that they're perfectly willing to run Bielitsa to 5 for 35 minutes a game.
Bielitsa
this is different
though. Yesterday in that game.
What's that?
Bielitsa was plus 28 in that game.
Yeah, it's great. Harrison Barnes scored like 34 points.
Yeah, he was minus 6.
The center rotation being Dwight Howard, McGee, and a little bit of Anthony Davis. If you're Jenkins, you can't be running like unless you're going to give Gorgie Jang a ton of minutes. Fine, but I think you've got to go a lot of Jonas Valanciunas here, and there's a good chance he actually plays 30 plus minutes back to back. I'm not nearly as worried about because he saw one of his lowest minutes totals of the season last night.
Look, I gave him 27. I gave him 27 minutes. I expect him to be in some of my lineups. I'm just not too worried about it. I'm not really worried about anything coming from Memphis.
I wouldn't be worried about it either. I just think as a unowned tournament play, who could play 30 plus in this specific matchup, I have some interest.
Favorite play in this game? Just AD and LeBron.
Yeah. Okay. I like Dwight Howard too.
Final game, lots to talk about here. The Portland Trail Blazers are hosting the New Orleans Pelicans. Blazers are 4-point underdogs at home. They are without Damian Lillard. This is a massive pace-up spot for the Blazers, and there's massive ownership coming in here. Hassan Whiteside on FanDuel is my number 1 center. He is projected for 44% ownership, 17 on DK. CJ McCollum is, I'd be surprised if anybody said anything other than the best play of the slate. 32% owned on FanDuel, 36% owned on DraftKings, 1.55x multiplier on SuperDraft. I love him clear across the board. Melo is 4,900 on FanDuel, 5,300 on DK. He's owned roughly 30%. I completely agree with that. Ariza getting a little bit of love. Anthony Simons is 3,500 on DraftKings. I would say that he is probably the best value play that exists right now. 30% owned. What do you want to do with Portland in a spot where it seems pretty obvious?
I can't believe that DraftKings messed this up so bad.
Agreed.
They've been good about that. They really have. Simons is $4,800 on FanDuel, and McCollum's 69. They're both very much still in play, but on DraftKings, you knew before you even got an ownership projection update for today, before we had anything, you knew that McCollum and Simons and probably Melo were going to be 1, 2, and 3 in projected ownership on DraftKings.
Yep.
And you know what, Josh? I'm not getting away from it. I don't see even Carmelo Anthony. I said this to Stratford on the early bird last night. You look at his production lately. He hasn't been able to put together the points and rebounds game. Last time he shot 1 of 15 though, got up 15 shots in 36 minutes, 15 rebounds. Prior to that, 18 points, 1 rebound, 15 and 6, 5 points, 8 rebounds. You haven't really got it where he's put all the pieces together. There's really few better spots to do that against in the Pelicans. Played him a couple games ago, underwhelming, but he's $5,300 here. Melo, CJ McCollum, 2 of the top plays on the slate. Simons, 1 of the top plays on the slate. And quite frankly, I don't hate paying for Whiteside on DraftKings because I think he gets 30. I got him at 34, but I would not be surprised he gets 35 minutes today at the 5.
I'm with you. I have Whiteside, McCollum, and Anthony all first on FanDuel at their positions. Simon's obviously a fantastic value on DK. I just don't know how you get away from these guys.
You really can't. If this was against Boston or, OKC, we're having a very different conversation where we like them.
Yeah.
But you're not obsessed with getting them into, like, it just doesn't make sense that you try to get away from them because what's the opportunity cost for a $6,600 McCollum, a $3,500 Anthony Simons?
To me, none. It's just you just jam them in. I can't imagine not having CJ McCollum as my most exposed player today.
I don't see any way that. I mean, you could try to take a million different angles on this to make justifications for why, you want to be different and you want to get away from this. But Damian Lillard, a 30+% usage guy, what is it, 30% assists, I think.
Yeah.
McCollum on the year, okay, only 1.2 on fantasy points per minute with Lillard off, but 31% usage, 27% assists. And if you run that back to last year and the year before, things get better, but it doesn't matter because he's 6,600 and none of it matters.
Exactly. 100%. Exactly. Couldn't agree more. Look, you got to play these guys. Rank them on DraftKings.
McCollum, Simons, Anthony, Whiteside. Because Whiteside is 9,200. So
I'm with you. For me on FanDuel, it's McCollum, Anthony, Whiteside, Ariza, Simons. Simons 4,800 on FanDuel. You can just ignore that.
Yeah, not huge on that.
No. But you got to be getting a lot of Portland. This is a fantastic spot. And I expect to be getting a decent amount of the Pels too.
Can't help but wonder if Gary Trent ends up playing another 30+ minutes.
Yeah, I gave him 28.
Me too.
The price is sort of where it needs to be for him. So it's going to be hard for him to become a really crazy value unless you start getting him well north of 30. Yeah,
unless if he affects Simons and hurts him, which is possible.
Yeah,
that's the only thing. But yeah, I think we covered Portland.
Oh man, this is not great.
What's up?
I got other people showing up in YouTube chat right now. Watch out. People are ruthless.
What do you mean other people?
Personal friends showing up in chat now.
Oh, this is phenomenal.
No, it's not.
This is fantastic.
We still got to hit the Pels. 63.
Have you learned not to make all-star game lineups on DraftKings when hammered, drunk, and on edibles?
To be fair, I made that lineup long before that.
Okay. You mean on the show?
Yes. Played the same lineup.
That we built in maybe 3 minutes?
Yeah.
And never revisited that.
Nope, not at all. Went with it.
And these are the consequences.
Yeah. Look, did you expect Luka to sit in the fourth quarter for all of it?
No, I mean, I certainly didn't, but.
Yeah, exactly.
But, it went my way.
Lonzo Ball, 25% owned on FanDuel at 6,300 is probably my favorite Pell. Zion looks pretty tasty at 7,500 on FanDuel, significantly more tasty than this chip
it's
I'm about
not
to eat. Yeah, I'm already there.
Go.
But $6,800 Brandon Ingram on DraftKings. We need to talk about this guy right now. How you feeling about Ingram at 16% ownership?
No bones about it. Says you guys are going to burn. You guys? What are you talking about?
I'm sweating profusely into this hoodie right now.
I love Ingram, man. This was also a conversation from the early bird about, do I like Zion? I don't see how I pay $1,200 more for Zion than Ingram on DraftKings specifically. That price on Ingram
they're not close.
No, they're not. That price on Ingram is wildly lower than it should be. Zion, 8K, fine. But really, take a look at their production. Take a look at usage. Rebound chances have clearly come down for Ingram, but still, when you look at their overall production, number one, Ingram has actually been either equal or outproducing Zion on a regular basis, but also which one of these guys can come in and play 37 minutes in a close game?
It's Ingram. I mean, it's for sure Ingram in that spot. Like, I have Ingram 3 points ahead of Zion on DraftKings at
your focus is shot right now.
1,200 less. Oh yeah, this is useless.
Gone.
Useless. I'm gonna have a ton of Ingram on DK. I don't need him as much at 8,400 on FanDuel. That's a spot.
Do you like anyone else from the Pels? Because Holiday's interestingly priced $7,300 on DraftKings. I don't have an issue with that.
He's 23rd for me on DK. I'm in for that.
Overall, yeah, that's. I keep asking you overall, like he's 23 at the position, and you're all about it. I don't know why I do that.
Yeah, he's 13th at shooting guard for me on FanDuel, so that is not something that I'm all that interested in. 8,100 there. Lonzo is my favorite play in this game on the FanDuel side, and then it's Ingram on the DraftKings side.
So I'll rank DraftKings, you rank Ingram, and we'll close this. Or you rank FanDuel, and we'll close this out. Ingram, Lonzo Ball. Oh no, what now?
Keep going.
Ingram, Lonzo Ball, Drew Holiday, Zion coming in fourth.
FanDuel for me, Lonzo, Zion, Ingram, Holiday, Derek Favors.
Okay.
I got a message from the wife of a screenshot of our YouTube chat from Josh is Cool Forever that said, unable to achieve erection for 4 full months after eating chip. She responded with a lot of question marks. Alrighty, here's where we're at. We are through this slate. Thank you for joining us. We're going to talk to you later. Goodbye. Nah, I wish that was
not happening.
I wish that was the case. All right, I'm going to go fill my water because I feel like I'm going to need that. And I will be back. So fill this time, Laffy. Give a super draft plug.
All right. Well, first of all, let me get this out there onto the Twitter sphere. Oh, man. Sorry, a little bit of dead air here. Bear with us. Josh has to prepare for this. It's not going to be good. I was watching YouTube videos of guys that do this type of stuff for a living. They get millions of views, like the LA Beast. And he was writhing in pain on the floor. Thanks for that super chat, man. Roger, I appreciate you, man. Writhing in pain on the floor afterwards. So he said initially the Heat was coming in around a 4 out of 10. 4 out of 10. Afterwards, laying on the kitchen floor, it was immense. And yeah, Josh better be getting milk or bread or something. Water's not going to do him any favors at all. Dustin Fenimore, he wants to kiss his loved ones goodbye. Oh man. And everyone's saying this shit is nothing. You know what? A lot of those people, fine. There's always the people like, bro, that was nothing. I eat the bag of those for breakfast. Horse shit, man. You don't got to be tough. We all know this. We all know this is not going to be easy. Josh, I'm serious about this. Did you get milk or bread?
I certainly did not. I don't even have milk or bread in this house.
Do you have ice cream?
No, I eat that too much when I'm baked.
Steve Finkelstein.
I've got tortillas. You think I should get a tortilla?
A tortilla, like any type of bread. Yeah, water's not gonna do it.
Actual tortillas, like burrito style tortillas, are my only bread analog right now.
That might work. I mean, it'll be better. The milk is the go-to. Like you
milk's
need
not. I've watched enough hot ones to know that milk doesn't matter. Ice cream is mildly legit. A beer is probably legit.
By the way, yeah, go grab those. But we need to hold on real quickly. How long do you have to sit with it? You need something to get rid of the pain afterwards. But how long do you have to sit with the pain after swallowing the entire chip?
0 seconds.
By the way, everyone keeps.
It's not going to go anywhere.
Chalky McChalky, soak your milk and bread. I think he means soak your bread and milk, but he doesn't have any milk. There's no milk. We got no milk. So, okay, how long? 2 minutes?
I don't know. But like before, you're giving me like time before I'm allowed to do anything?
Oh, that's how this works.
Okay. Well, look,
Okay.
Here's what I'll do. I'll wait as long as I can, and then I don't care.
Okay, fair enough. If it's 30 seconds, that's fine. It doesn't. You know what? You're right. I won't be setting rules here. That's fine.
If I swallow this chip, I'm gonna do whatever I would like afterwards.
Go get the tortillas,
okay,
and then we'll do this. He's stalling. Yeah, Bill, you're right. We agreed to 60 seconds, but listen, I'm trying to give the guy a break here. This is not going to be good. I must say though, the lack of preparation is astonishing. He comes into the show this morning, says he hasn't eaten a thing. Nothing in his stomach except some buffalo flavored, I don't even know what it was, but not good last night. And there's no milk. We got we have tortillas. The empty stomach thing is concerning me, that it won't be terrible up front, and then 20 minutes later it's going to be brutal.
Alrighty. All right, let's do this. The wife can't make it. She's on a call, so she'll have to watch this like everybody else. Surprised it's not on my TV downstairs.
The least you guys can do is hit us with that thumbs up before we do this and head out of here.
We're at 200 likes. I would like 50 more before I take a bite of this chip.
Okay. That's very reasonable. Pork rinds. That's what it was, El Negro Loco. Thank you. I couldn't remember what it was.
There it is.
Do you think you'll vomit, Josh?
No, I don't. This is what I knocked back yesterday.
Actually,
you see that?
Nice looking bag.
Yeah. Empty. Empty. All right, here we go. So I have not opened this chip at all.
There we go.
Do everything on the stream. I'm really afraid to open it and like it be like staggering scent.
Oh, in all seriousness, Josh, I'm not joking. Be very careful that you don't rub your eyes or anything. Okay, I'm just trying to.
I should have brought gloves. It's fine. We'll be all right.
Probably should have. Yeah.
I have them downstairs actually.
Kevin Cutler says it's like Christmas for Lavi. I don't know if I'm happy about this or nervous. In all seriousness, there it is. Any last words? The Reaper is waiting.
What to expect? Mouth on fire, short-term loss of speech, impaired vision from tears, extreme profanity. Sorry in advance, Tom. And then just RIP. Try it. Eat the chip. See how long you could last without reaching for milk or ice cream. Well, that should be easy. I will last infinitely. I have neither of those two things.
Does it say that on there?
Yes.
Oh, God. How could you be so unprepared, Josh?
I'm not unprepared. I just don't care.
Okay.
It's not going to focus. Yeah. No, it started to focus just as I pulled it away. Alrighty. So.
The guru who's taking Josh's place on Live Before Lock tonight.
All right. Let me point my camera down so you guys can see me open it up.
PJ Benji. It's the Pocky One Chip Challenge. PAQUI.
Okay.
Oh, man. Matthew Albert with some encouraging words. They say pain is weakness leaving the body, Josh. You're going to be good after this, bro. Maybe this will just make you stronger and a better overall person.
I assume that's not the case. Okay, so the chip is broken into multiple pieces.
Yeah, I was a little disappointed about that. Mine was as well.
But I think we'll be all right. So there we
go. Now, can we get an idea of the scent of this? How does it smell?
I don't think that's a great idea.
Just, you don't have to get too close, but like, these are, by the way, it's Carolina Reaper peppers.
There's basically no scent.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to count you down. You tell me when you're ready for the countdown.
Just go for it.
Move your camera up just a little bit so we can catch your head.
You should be able to see my mouth and the chip right now.
There you go. That's good. Perfect.
Okay. Go for it.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 chip challenge. Let's do it. Go. Dear God. Oh, dear God. Shake that off of that so when you eat it, you're not getting more flakes in there.
Oh, boy.
All right. Tell me what you're experiencing right now. Oh, God.
Incredible pain. Oh. Oh, it actually tasted pretty good. Whoo, that was hot. That was real hot. Oh, hiccups.
Oh, you got the hiccups?
A little bit.
That's common.
Oh.
All right. Explain what it was like going down. What it feels like now.
It doesn't feel great. It's stuck in my throat a little bit. There's the tears.
Is the pain building?
No, not really. It's just kind of weird. I've never felt this before. I don't like it. I really don't. I'm sick of hiccuping. All right, mind over matter. Remember, I didn't touch water. I didn't eat this stupid ass tortilla. I'm a man. Oh.
You're doing good, man. You're doing good. The hiccups still there?
Yeah, they're here.
Is there extreme heat right now inside of your mouth?
Yeah, back of the throat is really, really problematic. This is not great, man. I'm gonna go to the water now.
Yeah.
I need to
go to the bread, Josh.
That's a good idea. I'll go to the bread. I'm just fucking shit.
Oh man.
Oh God.
You made it.
It's oh man. It just doesn't go anywhere, dude. It hurts really bad. The back of my throat is really bad right now.
Explain to the audience exactly what it feels like.
Oh God, I've never appreciated water so much.
Is it helping though? Yeah, say it doesn't help much.
It helps when it's in there.
So explain the feeling.
So, oddly enough, my mouth feels fine. I mean, it burns. Don't get me wrong. But from like the rear part of my tongue to like here in my throat is awful right now. Mouth's not getting any better either.
So it's the stomach that they say is generally the worst part afterwards.
Great.
Stomachs right now, you're okay.
Coughing with it in my throat, I think, was the big problem.
Was the worst part.
Yeah.
Is it beginning to get your eyes are water? Is it getting better?
It's not getting better. It's just as bad now as it was before. Well, I don't ever want to eat that again. I really want you to eat it.
All right. 500 likes and I'll eat it.
Yo, really?
Yeah.
Guys, we're at 306 likes. Lofty will eat his if you can get that number to 200 more. Get that to 500. Lofty will eat that chip. Oh my God, please make that happen. I might make a bot.
500 likes. I'll do it.
Adam just messaged me, how did the chip challenge go? Thanks for watching, man.
Jerk off. I don't think we get, there's 676. Like you should be able to do that. I'll give it, how long should I'll give it 5 minutes to get there.
That's fair. Hit that like button, folks. I'm going to go hit it myself on my phone. Oh man.
So it's not, is it not improving?
Yeah, it's improving. It's improving. It sucks. It's real bad, man. It burns aggressively.
It's mostly so it's the
now
throat,
it's in the
huh?
stomach. Now it's in the stomach. Back of my throat. Yeah, the cough really made it worse. It's like I'm on fire right now.
Okay, so you eat it, it hits the throat
Yeah.
immediately.
Yeah, and it tastes like there's no way to make it stop. Oh man.
This is getting way too close for my comfort. We're at 415 likes.
Keep it going, everybody. Keep it going. Keep it going. It's just like everything kind of just goes numb in your mouth. It doesn't improve. I guess I can move my camera back to normal. Oh. It was bad, guys. Just real bad.
I'm giving it to 11:22. If we don't get there by 11:22, I'm not giving you all day to get 500 likes.
Everybody that keeps saying water makes it worse is never been more wrong, and I've never seen that's worse than half of the DFS takes I read in these chats.
Really? It's actually helping, huh?
Yeah, because for 3 or 4 seconds, water puts the fire out. Now, I think it's lighting a fire in my stomach, which I'm not excited about. Really not excited if I have a reversal of fortune, because I think that's going to sting like the dickens. The good news is there's no solids in my stomach, so if I do have to evacuate the dance floor, it'll come out clean.
I can't believe you did it on an empty stomach, man. I'm on an empty stomach. I haven't eaten anything because I didn't plan on doing this. Fuck, it's going to get there. I'll be right back.
Okay. Guys, 469 like 473. We are 27 likes away, 25 likes away from Laffy eating the chip as well. This sucks, guys. I'm not going to lie. My stomach now hurts worse than the back of my throat. My mouth hurts now worse than the back of my throat. None of this is going well. I wish that I could puke, but I assume that would be way worse. Oh, sorry, guys. That's hot. That's hot. Uh, 500 likes. Yes. Yes. Thank you to everybody watching this stream right now. Thank you for ruining Laffy's day as well. I could not be happier. This is perfect. He's got his earbuds in, so he can still hear me ripping him right now. I'm so excited for his discomfort. In no way, shape, or form should he have agreed to this. 500 likes, brother?
No.
And then some. Oh, man. I'm so excited that you can feel my discomfort.
Oh, God.
Can you, make behind you a little darker? Do you have, blinds or anything you can close?
Evan Ross has no milk for Laffy either. Did you not see the big gallon of milk that I just brought up?
I think he's telling you that you can't use it. At which point, I don't agree. Use whatever you need.
Fuck you. These stupid blinds always giving me trouble.
Oh, you're perfect. You should be good now. Yeah, that's better. Oh, no. Get the ketchup and mustard bottles. Rodell Green, thanks for the super chat. 750 likes for Alex Baker to eat it, please. He's got enough money that he'd buy his way out of that. And I don't blame him.
All
right. Water might be making it worse in my stomach.
How bad? What's your stomach at right now?
Ooh, not great. It's not mixing well with the chicharrones from yesterday. I'm getting the shakes.
I won this bet.
I'm getting the shakes a little bit now.
I'm a good friend, let me tell you.
Ooh, I would have just called you an idiot when I think both of those things might be true. See that chip?
All right.
This is not. It's getting way worse in my stomach. God. Oh God. Oh God, I'm afraid to poop. Ben, if you're watching this, our plans have changed. Oh God, he did it. Oh God. Here we go. Get some.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Already. Oh my God. Oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh. Oh.
It's so bad. Oh.
Wow. Oh, it's just building.
Yeah, it doesn't get better from there. It doesn't get better.
Oh, it's building.
Yeah.
It's building a lot worse.
Yeah.
My eyes are. Oh God.
Where your bread at?
Look at my eye. Oh God, it's the back of my tongue and my throat.
Yeah, those are not the best places.
Oh fuck. Oh dude, that sucks.
Yeah, it's not fun. Next 5 minutes or so for you, not going to be great.
Oh,
Not going to lie.
I'll hold on as long as I can. It's getting way worse on my tongue.
Yeah, it does that.
Way worse. The whole outside of my tongue is on fire.
I mean, I'm not back yet.
Look at the color of my eyes. Oh, that's extreme.
Yeah, it's really unpleasant. I'm really happy that you did this as well.
Yeah, I'm a good friend. What can I say?
Yeah. I will never eat one of those again. Never. Woo!
Dude, it's getting worse.
I can hear my wife coming up the steps right now.
Ugh.
You missed it. You missed it. Yes, we're still live. Laffy ate the chip as well.
Oh.
How was it? Awful. You're gonna have to go back and watch this. Real rough. But yes, we are still live, so I need to keep talking. Say hi to Josie and Kylie. Thank you for watching.
Oh my God. Dude, my tongue hurts so bad.
What? No. My wife just asked me if she needs to go buy diapers.
Dude, I'm milking. I'm going milk.
Go milk, dude. Go milk. Oh, my stomach is rough right now. I love you too, baby. I feel like I swallowed lit matches.
Oh shit. Dude, the heat is extraordinary.
How great does the milk feel for like a half second in your mouth?
Really good, and it's all coming back.
Yep, it immediately comes back. The gut right now is my biggest issue. And that doesn't seem like anything I can correct.
Dude, it's right back.
Yeah, it is. You're going to drink a lot of that milk.
My nose is running.
Yep. Yeah, that's true.
It feels like someone has a blowtorch held to the back of my mouth.
Yeah.
Like, blowtorch, back of the mouth, hurts like a bitch, and the pain is not leaving.
No. So make sure that go to superdraft.io and use that promo code Awesemo for $20 in super cash.
Wow, it's incredible.
That is so incredibly not fun. I'm so scared for my first BM. And it's like making my joints hurt. I don't think that I'm going to enjoy the next hour or two of my life.
Nope. Where are you guys gonna find a better DFS show than this?
Yeah. It's nowhere to be found, guys.
Oh, it's in my stomach now.
Yeah, that doesn't get better. That's getting worse for me. Every sip of water that I take is just creating Carolina Reaper slurry in my stomach. You know what would probably help that out? Having eaten a breakfast. Yeah. Do you guys get
gargling
hazard pay?
milk?
Yeah, I might get workman's comp out of this. Dude.
He's telling me to chill. Why would I chill on the milk? It's the only thing that's helping.
Yeah.
I'm over here gargling milk.
Awesemo odds betting show coming up in 30 minutes.
All right, I'm done. Good show. Thanks for hanging out. Appreciate all the support. I'm going to go, I don't know, lay down, sit on the toilet.
Yeah.
Jump out of the window.
I'm going to do the same.
I'm not exaggerating, by the way. I can usually, I can handle heat. That's bad. It's really, really not fun.
It's not like heat you normally experience at all. It's
my face is like beat red.
Yeah, it's not great. Guys, thank you for joining us. Thank you for getting to 500 likes. So Laffy also joined us. This is the best ever. It doesn't get better than this. Deeper dive tonight, live before lock tonight. I will be back, I hope. Go to superdraft.io, use the promo code Awesemo, get yourself $20 in super cash, and that's it. I don't think I could talk any longer.
I'm done.
Best of luck, guys. We will talk to you again later.